Hi, everybody, and welcome to Heartful of Hallmark. We're so excited to welcome these very special guests, Alec Santos, Rhiannon Fish, and Colin Thays. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. You guys have quite the lineup. Thank you. I feel very lucky to be here. Thank you.
I'm not going to lie to you. Half of those we got very lucky. We got lucky.
No, I think it's you, Noah. Like you said, it's your mythical powers.
You can get lucky a couple times, but you can't do it over and over.
Yeah.
Well, Becky was our luckiest one because she doesn't do interviews.
Oh.
And we went, how are we going to get Becky Dalton? I'm thinking Max McGuire. I could get a hold of Nazneen. I don't know. But we got her. And if I'm being honest with you, Rhiannon, we didn't think we were ever going to get you.
Well, thank God for Colin. Colin was like, where are you? When people are trying to contact you, I'm off the grid. I'm so sorry. It's not me.
It's healthy. It's healthy to be off the grid.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As soon as Colin messaged me, I was like, yeah, of course. Why don't I know about this? People have been trying to get a hold of you. That's
yeah.
Well, we would love to have you on a lot more, many, many more times, and with a lot more surprises, because I've got some things in the future that even Kirsten doesn't know about. But so before we get down to business, we're going to go into the would you rather questions. But we got to handle a little bit of business first. We have a movie coming out at the end of June. And it is a Machu Picchu Proposal coming out June 28th at 8 p.m. on the Hallmark Channel, next day on Hallmark Plus. If you haven't subscribed to Hallmark Plus, we're not sponsored, subscribe. It is probably our most watched streaming service on this channel. We watch all the time. We binge stuff. We talk about what we watch. But we're going to go into the would you rather questions. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to go from Alec to Rhiannon to Colin.
great.
I love a plan.
Yeah.
All right. So Kirsten's going to go first and until we're done.
Okay. Would you rather watch a rom-com or write a rom-com?
I would rather watch a rom-com. Writing a rom-com is a lot of work. I've seen our writer, Juliana, struggle with it. And she's amazing, by the way. I couldn't do what she does.
I'm in the same boat. I see a lot of actors that are we doing the right order? Yes.
Yes.
I have seen a lot of actors move into the writing. I don't want to. I don't want to write. I don't want to direct. I'm going to leave that to the people that is what they do.
And I would say write them. I love watching them, but, I'm a masochist. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in this business. It is hard, though. It's very hard.
Would you rather do your own stunts or have a stunt double do them?
Sorry.
Okay.
You're fine.
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think that I would rather do all my own stunts, In my mind, I'm like Tom Cruise, but I probably am incapable of doing half of them. So it really depends. I mean, I think that's the answer. I want to do them, but safety-wise, I don't know if I could.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think that's one of the cool things about these sort of jobs that we do, Colin. We've never, in the 3 movies that we've done together, I don't think we've had any stunt doubles.
No, I don't think we have.
No. Which is, I love it. So very similar to Alec, I like to do my own stunts wherever possible.
And it doesn't apply to me really, but I like to go shoot things for real. And the last 3 movies I've done with Rhiannon, I think, are an indication of that.
Absolutely.
I'm going to stop my camera and start it again because I'm lagging for some reason.
No problem.
I'll say something about Colin while he does that. He's so great. Much like the producers of all those movies that we've done together, they are very there is nothing they will ever get their actors to do that they wouldn't do personally, and that is not always the case. So it makes us feel like very, very safe. I love that Colin is very hands-on in his directing.
Thank you. Although apparently I can't figure out how to operate a webcam. So
your voice sounds lovely though, so it's fine.
Exactly. Well, one thing we know needs to happen in your next movie is that we need to strap Alec to a plane with his hands like this and let him do his own stunts, right?
I'd watch that movie.
I'm in.
Let's go to a glacier. Let's really.
Let's not do that. That part, I think I'm gonna veto. No more glaciers.
Just a limit on the altitude that you guys will travel to, I think.
Oh yeah, that's been capped. We're not doing that. You can do it though.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've done some pretty wild things in my life, so yeah, I'll do it.
Would you rather sing in a movie or be serenaded?
Okay. So I don't have
Answer carefully.
A wonderful what's that? Answer
I said
carefully.
answer carefully.
I mean, the idea of being serenaded sounds real nice, you know? And once again, in my head, I'm a really good singer. In the shower, I'm fantastic. So, and I have sung in movies before, but it tends to be in English. I mean, it tends to be in Portuguese or in Spanish, which I think I can hide behind the language because ultimately I'm not a very good singer. Didn't get that, Jane.
I wish we knew this, Colin. He could have serenaded me in Spanish. Oh my gosh.
I know, missed opportunities.
Yeah, that's what I would like to be serenaded by Alec in my.
Can I also sign up for being serenaded by Alec?
Yeah. There's nothing Alec can't do. I'm not here to gas both of you up. I probably will though, but he is one of those people who just can do it all. So I actually don't believe you. I think you probably have a beautiful voice.
Oh wow.
He's a great dancer.
I'm not singing right now.
Both
Really?
of you.
I'm a great. Okay. Do you guys want to hear a fun story about this movie?
Yeah.
Let's go.
So I go to Rhiannon. I do know how to dance.
Oh.
You know, when you grow up in like Latin America, it's kind of like you as a boy, you have to learn how to dance. It's not like up here in Canada or United States. It's not like forced upon you. And so I'm like, want to make sure Rhiannon's comfortable with the dance scene. I'm like, so Rhiannon, like, what's your dance background like? Like, do you want to like practice it? Are you a good dancer? She goes, I won Dancing with the Stars Australia. Like, I'm a good dancer. I'm like, oh. In my head, I started freaking out.
The way I said it either. I was like, no, I don't need to practice. It's fine. Alec, I've got this. Relax. Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean you got this? Like, you don't want to, like, you're good?
No. We'll do it on the day. Let the cameras roll, Colin. Yeah.
I've done a lot of dance scenes. And usually, you're kind of hiding some stuff. It's like you don't have a lot of time to rehearse. You don't have a lot of time to practice. These two take one. I'm like, oh wow, this is a great scene. Let's do more angles.
It was really fun though too, because we really did do it on the fly. I don't think we rehearsed it, and I think that was really. You of course led it, but it was so cool to be led by such a great dancer and to just go. It was just magic. I thoroughly enjoyed that evening, and I've always looked forward to seeing the cut of that.
Yeah,
it's good.
And I also won't forget she's like, Alec, you're a great dancer, but got to work on that dip because when you look at me in the eyes, it's not sexy. You do this little like baby look, like, you drop the baby. Right, I don't know why I did that. It's just,
I forgot about that.
It's like I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
peekaboo. Yeah.
That's part of the reason I could never actually do stunts is that if I managed to pull it off, I'd be like, and that face doesn't really go well.
Yeah, fair. You gotta.
You don't have a poker face at all, Colin.
No.
Like, so if you ever see Colin, which you can sometimes in your eye line a little bit, you know if he's liking it because his face is a dead giveaway. Also, if he's not liking it, you'll know too.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's good.
Which means that we've been invited on set in the next movie, right, Colin?
If you can get to wherever we are.
There are planes, and I will pay for both of us to be there.
We've gone to some places where a plane is not enough.
Yeah, we're not gonna go where the penguins are.
Yeah.
We'll leave that to the professional actors and directors and filmmakers. We'll say in warm mid-America.
Okay.
This is one of our viewers' favorite questions because it gets some of the actors in trouble. Because if you answer this wrong, they will eat you, and I'm not kidding. Would you rather become a regular on Heartland or When Calls the Heart?
I'm gonna say When Calls the Heart because I have a friend in that show called Christopher McNally, and I would like to be in the show with him. So I don't know. Is there a wrong answer to that? I don't think it can be.
Oh,
You know,
there
it's not
is.
worth it. Somebody I know.
I know the wrong answer because I have it.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't. What's Heartland?
It is a big Canadian show about this family on a horse ranch, and there's a lot of drama and romance. Cindy Busby was in it as Hot Ashley for about 7 seasons. A lot of Hallmark stars have been in it, and like one-off cameos, like a Tyler Hines. I think Chris McNally was in there a couple times. Chris Russell was in there a couple times. It's
Heartland. I'll look into it after this.
It's like a cowboy show, right? Yeah, it's
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like the longest running show in
I
Canada.
thought When Calls the Heart was. Is Heartland still running?
Is it
Yeah.
Hallmark?
No. Well,
Oh.
it's on the CBC, and it's ran for 18 seasons, and they're filming season 19 now.
Okay. Well, since this is a Hallmark promo podcast, definitely the Hallmark show. Yeah.
Big thing.
Yeah, that one.
Big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to watch Heartland, it's on Hallmark Family every night at 10 p.m. So if you want to watch it, it's on there. If not, all 17 seasons are available on Hallmark Plus.
Oh, that's good to know.
Great.
Fantastic. Colin, would you rather direct?
I mean,
go to
I
Heartland?
feel like I would be not a great contribution to either, but if I would, if I could be behind the scenes, I would probably actually. They both shoot in Canada, right? So I'm never doing either one of those shows. Let's be real.
Or British Columbia. The choice is British Columbia or Alberta, I believe. So.
Well, I mean, they don't. I mean, as an American, like, or they don't really bring us up to Canada to shoot. So
Fair.
I'll meet Canadians in other countries or sometimes here, but I don't go. They don't take me to Canada.
Yeah, that's fair.
And there is one final question that Chris Russell kind of jump scared us when we asked him, because he literally screamed at us.
He did.
Yeah.
He quite screamed at us.
Mm-hmm.
Would you
Star
rather
Wars.
Star Wars movie or Marvel?
Yep.
Okay. What if I told you I wasn't a fan of either franchise?
It's a safe space. I think you should be allowed to say that. I think you should have screamed it too, just to one
No. Like it depends. And once again, am I playing a bad guy or a good guy? If I'm playing a good guy, I think I want to be in a Star Wars movie. I want a lightsaber. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
No, I get it.
But I guess the bad guys get lightsabers too. I don't know what I'm talking about.
They can.
Let's go with Star Wars because I want to go to space real bad. And I want to meet. If I get to meet Chewbacca, then my life is complete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the baby Yoda. That guy's so cute. So I love Star Wars in a very, very distant sort of way. I'm not familiar with it, but I love that baby Yoda. I love Princess Leia. But I like the Marvel movies, and I think there's some really badass women in. Of course, there probably is in Star Wars as well. But I wouldn't pass up the opportunity to do either. I'm not married to either idea.
For me, Star Wars. I was such a Star Wars fan as a kid. I wrote my own Star Wars role playing game and wrote all the rules for it, and then played it for like 5 years with my friends. So that one.
This is so cute.
Though I haven't kept up with the new any of the shows, honestly, but I love a good sci-fi show.
You are my type of man, Colin, because I'm in a group chat where we talk about Marvel and Star Wars, and Star Wars Day came up. The group chat was just screaming at each other. Were the prequels better? Were the sequels better? And the originals, I'm like, you're all wrong here. There's only one real answer. It's the OGs, because if you didn't have the OGs, you wouldn't have the prequels or the sequels.
Amen.
So I win.
It's true.
True enough. Also, they're the best.
So before we get down to business, I have a couple of surprises. I've got a surprise for Alec and Colin because I didn't know that Rhiannon was going to be on when I asked this person, but I do have a surprise for you as well. So we have somebody that you've never met before that wants to ask you a question. So if they look familiar, I'm sure they aren't. Let's just see what he had to say.
Hello, Colin and Alec. My name's Chris. I'm a big fan of both your works. My question to the both of you is this. What about this film is different than any other film you've worked on? Other than it being out.
Oh, he's so cute.
Hey.
Him. Oh.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't ring a bell. I don't know. That's a great question though by this random fan.
And one thing that nobody else knows is I see all of you, so I saw all your reactions, and Alec was just cracking up, laughing hysterically, laughing over in his seat. But I had to. He reached out to us, and I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta look this up. And I think I scared him. He went, I'll do it. And then he kind of questioned it. He went, how do they know I'm in the movie?
Oh, cute. Bless him. He's adorable. Such a sweetheart. And he's great in this movie as well. I can't wait for you guys to see him in it. He's very, very funny.
Yes, the easy answer is that the main thing that's different about this movie is that Chris is in it. Yes. Any other movie I've done. But no, he's great. And like he and Rhiannon play twins. And that was a really fun dynamic to work with. That it's not something I've done in a Hallmark movie before, where it's like there's the couple, the main couple, and then there's the side dynamic of the twins, who kind of have a real fun, bouncy comic thing going on between them that I think lends a really a dynamic kind of air to the whole thing and kind of drives the story forward.
Agreed. I loved it. I think twins just as a whole are very interesting. And I think it allowed just cute little fun things. Like Colin made it so there was just little parts of our even wardrobe or props that was matching. Like not too heavy-handed in it, but it was just this subtle, cute things that we got to play with in the twin relationship that I loved.
Yeah, because if you can imagine if siblings can call out each other on all sorts of stuff,
twins,
like, the connection between twins is so intense that it really I'm surprised I haven't seen more twins in Hallmark, to be honest, because it just lends itself to so much comedy.
So Rhiannon, do you want your surprise or do you want your fan question first?
Either or.
Okay, this is from Sarah. She's a massive fan of you.
Love Sarah.
Okay, technical difficulties. We'll be there in just a second.
No, you guys are amazing. This is so professional. I've never seen anything like it.
This is all Kirsten. No.
And humble.
All right.
I'm not going to complain about technical difficulties. I'm on my second camera.
Sarah has a question for you.
Hey Rhiannon Fish, I'm such a big fan of you, and don't mind me, I'm in a play right now, so I have my costume and my mic on, but I wanted to ask you, what is your most unhinged behind-the-scenes moment that you've had with a cast member or with you?
I love her! Oh my gosh! She's to die for! Look at her in her little costume with her microphone. What a superstar! I want to know what she's doing. I'll have to I'll come on the grid. Send me her Instagram. I'd love to reach out to her. She's absolutely adorable. What a cutie. You know what was unhinged, Alec? And is that you guys put the kissing scene on day 2. That's super unhinged. Usually they wait till the very end. The chemistry's built. Alec and I maybe said 5 words to each other. And then we were making out. Hallmark level making out.
Yeah.
Both of us acknowledged even before doing it. We were like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel a little bad about that.
All your fault.
It was. I mean, it made sense on the schedule, but at the same time, I was like, don't love this.
Yeah. That would be my answer.
Good answer.
Thank you.
And this person, you know pretty well.
Oh.
I had an idea. I'm like, wait a minute, Rhiannon's coming on. Who can I get? So I reached out to a couple of people, and this person got back to me very, very quickly.
Nervous.
Here we go.
Oh, I'm
Hi everyone, this is Adrian Powers, co-writer and director of A Royal in Paradise and A Royal Proposal, starring my good friend Rhiannon Fish. I'm currently here in Indonesia for FSAI, Festival Cinema Australia Indonesia, where A Royal in Paradise is screening as part of the festival, and everyone is absolutely loving it. I'm having an amazing ball. Rhiannon, everyone is just absolutely loving your work in this movie, as everyone who sees the movie does. Just want to thank you again for being just an incredible talent who does an amazing job, and I can't wait for us to jam again on a movie. Take care of yourself, and thank you so much, Noah, for the chance to say hi. Hope all is well with you all. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you, Noah. That was very, very kind. That actually meant a lot to me. I feel very emotional about that. Thank you. That was so sweet. I love Adrian. I would honestly, and Colin's in the same caliber. When you meet a director that you just not only I speak, of both Adrian and Colin. I just love working with you both, and not only enjoy who you are as directors, but who you are as people. Like, I really, Colin and I just got on, and Alec can attest to that as well. Like, we all just really got along, and I enjoyed every moment in between scenes with both of you. And I think when you can find that, as I had with Adrian as well, on a set, it just makes coming to work the greatest joy. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it makes you remember that making movies is actually fun, and that you do it because you love them, and it's like a big game. You know, it's a stressful, challenging game, but you're finding the best of what you're working with.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Noah.
He's one of my best friends. I love the dude to death. We go back and forth. I interviewed him once, and he just gushed about you, and I'm like, he's gonna have the best things to say. And I've got a couple other people who will do it down the line, but they're filming right now, so they can't.
That's fair.
But with all that out of the way, let's finally get down to business, and we'll get into more fun stuff after the movie talk. So let's get into a Machu Picchu proposal. So the way that this is going to work is that we have this system going down now where we're each going to have our name next to the question so that we don't talk over each other, and each of us gets our time to shine with each of you and all of you at the same time. So starting off with this, tell us a little bit about the movie, who is your character, and what is the storyline in this film?
We'll let the director start with that one, you know? Ultimately, he's his movie.
Well, I don't have a character in it, but the movie is set in Peru, and the story is that we have. Sorry, I'm trying to remember the characters. What's your character's name?
And I forgot all the actors' names too.
No, I know the actors' name. So Rhiannon and Chris are twins, and Rhiannon is a school teacher, and Chris shows up in her classroom to ask her to come to Peru because he wants to propose to his girlfriend Lucy, whose real name is Michelle. I'm going to use Lucy for her and everyone else's real name because now I've started down this path and it's too late to turn back. She doesn't want to go at first, but she agrees and travels down to be his kind of secret weapon to help him figure out how to propose to her in Peru. But Lucy's school classmate from cooking school, Alec, is on the trip too, which she doesn't know at first. And he's kind of ruining the plans by being the kind of free-spirited adventurer on the trip who just wants to throw out his own ideas and go to places that aren't on the plan and interrupt each proposal attempt unintentionally. And Rhiannon gets far too into it for her own personal reasons, and it kind of things go off the rails, and we have some great kind of funny scenes and some heartfelt scenes as they all kind of figure out what they're really doing. And Rhiannon and Alec find what they share beyond the romantically, right? It's a romance, of course.
That was amazing. Wow. That was so good, Colin.
Well, except that I forgot the character's name because the fact that we shot this back to back with polar opposites just confuses me to no end. I'm so bad with names, just in real life.
Yes.
What was your character's name?
No one's answered that yet.
Rhiannon? Do you remember?
Katie.
I think it's
Katie.
Yeah.
I only know it because I called
Katie and
Lucy.
Dan. There we go.
Katie and Dan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Katie and Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Carlos was easy to remember because ultimately while we were making the movie too, I always remember one day Alec came into the hair and makeup room and unprompted was like, guys, I think I'm Carlos. I think we're the same guy. Yeah, Alec.
Yeah. Well, I was in denial that I was Carlos for most of it. I think it was like day 14. I'm like, yeah, I think you guys are right.
Yeah.
It finally clicked on the last day. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You Carlos yourself. You showed yourself the joy of being Carlos,
fair. Yeah.
which is kind of what the movie's about. And
Totally.
then you realized that it was right.
That's very true. Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely use more Carlos in my life on a day-to-day basis. That guy
Love
That
him.
guy sees life in a wonderful, wonderful lens. So that's Carlos. That's who I play. Mexican American, raised in the States, kind of like half and half in my mind, at least. And he is about to open a pretty big restaurant in Chicago, and he gets an invite to come down to Peru. His friend's down there. His friend that he attended. His friend. Not only did he attend culinary school, he wouldn't have finished it without her. So they're very close. And he's like, why not? One last trip before I open up this restaurant. And he goes because Peru is known as one of the places in this planet with the best food in the world. So he couldn't miss that opportunity.
I play Katie, Dan's twin. And Colin nailed it. It was like she's basically going with Dan to help him execute this proposal. But along the way, which I think I really enjoyed the script because I found that I could really apply it to myself. If you're trying to make everything perfect and just right, you're going to miss what it is that actually makes things magical and special. And you can see it in all the pictures. Like, I'm so genuinely happy. There's something about every place that we were, every person that we met, all the locals. It was just magic. And so to have Katie discover that magic, as I was as well. I mean, like Colin said, we just come off polar opposites. All of us, the crew did both. We were all pretty run down. And then there was just a magic that came alive in this place with this script and these people that was infectious. And the journey that Katie was on was very similar, felt to the journey that I was on while making the movie.
There's a lot of that, actually. Sorry, not to go off the plan. But in the movie is about kind of exploring Peru, and we went and got to look around and kind of adapt the script. Like, we worked with Juliana, the writer, and when we were scouting, we would see what we could actually find and do and who we could get, and the script kind of morphed to fit the place. And so it is a very genuine exploration of the places that we filmed the movie. Yeah. So it is kind of what you see is what you get, in the sense that we did those things.
Absolutely. Yeah, it wasn't, we were in front of a green screen and it was like, imagine that you're seeing any of this. No, we were like the ruins, Machu Picchu. It was, every reaction that you're seeing any of us give was very genuine, because it was just, it's magic, all of those places.
Speaking of Peru, this is a nice segue.
Oh, what was it like filming in Peru, and do you feel more connected to your character's story filming on location?
Did we answer that?
We started to kind of answer that, right? Yeah, I mean, it was every day was like, okay, what's on the docket? It was a new adventure. You couldn't pay for a better like adventure guide to Peru. No. Because we got to be in places that even tourists weren't allowed to go to, because we were there part of like a very conscientious film crew. We got to meet people who otherwise you wouldn't necessarily meet. It is authentic. It's like a travelogue meets a romantic comedy. So as Rhiannon said, everything is authentic. It was very, very easy to absorb the energy around you and then translate it to screen.
What about you? How did you find it? Because you speak obviously English, Spanish. Do you speak Portuguese too?
I do, yeah. Well, I'm originally Brazilian, yeah, but I grew up in Chile, then I finished high school in the States.
Did you find that while you were there, it like amped up all those languages for you? In any way, are you always like that? You can just go in and out of it so easily.
Yeah, I can go in and out of it so easily, but I think my personality does change when I start to speak Spanish immediately. Yeah. So it's like there is, once you leave home, and not that Peru's home, Brazil's home, but there is something quintessential about Latin America, about the way places feel, the way people feel, that just bring sort of what's inside of you out. And so, yeah, definitely being there was kind of like, I felt like home, you know, like even with our crew, right? Speaking Spanish to the crew every day, like there is a connection that I have with them that is not necessarily a connection I ever have with sort of Western crew.
Yeah, it's such an incredible thing to watch. I think Colin and I can attest to the fact that, I mean, we probably should be able to speak some Spanish at this point. I can't. Katie could in the movie. I can't speak it at all. It's like you.
Katie's a Spanish teacher, right? Like, come on.
But I think it was like you, me, and Brendan, our DOP. I think we were like the only people that didn't speak Spanish.
I know. I'm embarrassed about that. I spent 4.5 months last year shooting in Spanish-speaking countries. I still don't speak any Spanish.
With that being said, it was so cool to watch the crew and the other members of the cast just switch in and out of it. It was, I mean, it makes you feel stupid. It certainly made me feel like an idiot. But I thought it was just incredible to watch everybody else be able to do it so effortlessly.
I mean, you give yourself, you're not going to learn a language while you're so busy working. You know what I mean? Like Colin had a million things on. We had 20 pages to memorize every night. I don't know. Like, I just know these languages because I was, you know, like as a kid, I learned them. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like.
That's fair. I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you spent 4 months there not doing anything to learn Spanish and you didn't learn it then
you yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and also just like, you know, I feel like we had a fantastic local team. Like our local producer Maida was so great, and like she helped us find the places and the people to talk to that kind of helped us make the movie authentic. Like, you know, these are the people you should talk to, these are the places you should be going, and then and talking to people on the day. Like there were times in this movie where, like on day one when it rained and we had to go shoot the little cart scene undercover, we literally walked over and I'm just like, can you get that cart? And she just like walked over and hired the cart vendor, and we like rolled it over to our shoot. And then there were those two women with the little baby alpacas in the way.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can get them to move. And I'm like, do they want to be in the movie? And then we shot a scene of you buying the food and petting the baby alpaca. And like, that's the scene now, right? Like that wasn't supposed to happen.
It wasn't a scene. It was not, not in the script. And there's so much of that, so many incredible moments with locals that we then put in the movie or had them, you know, agree to be in it, that make it something that, again, I'm so looking forward to seeing. Like there's even this bit with it, Colin, we were obsessed with, where Alec, bless his soul, was like helping this old woman across the way. And right away, Colin was like, roll the cameras on that. And so they snapped the cameras around and film it. That's in the movie.
What? I didn't know that was it.
You didn't know? I was going to say, I don't think he knows.
And it's just Alec being so sweet and kind, which he is. And then this woman who is just lapping up what Alec is doing because he's so charming. That, like I said, that's in the movie. And I just think it's going to be so cool to see all those Easter eggs of things that just happened on the day and were not at all in the script.
Yeah, no, for that one, it's so funny because like there's this montage where like you are seeing him around the city doing things.
Yeah.
And while we were shooting the scene with the dancers, actually, this older woman walked through and Alec like helped her down the street.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and so literally I'm just like, roll. And so it's like they're just far away walking. It's on their back, and then I'm like, Rhiannon, come, just walk in and look at them, and then walk out. So we shot that, and then in the edit, the editor's like, "Do you have any more footage of this? Because like it kind of like the direction doesn't match anything." And I'm like, "No, man, like that just happened." So we gotta adjust to figure out how to make it work.
That's funny.
This next question is for our actors. Every movie is different. Sometimes you have to audition. but you've kind of alluded to this a little bit, but I have another question. I know that Alec does something else for Hallmark, and I wanted to ask if you did this. You told me when we did our last interview that you were going to take pictures for a Hallmark movie soon. Was that for Polar Opposites?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it was. I just wanted to take pictures of the crew because they're the hardest working people, and we're in front of the camera all the time. So yeah, I took my camera. I think I did my last Instagram post, just portraits of them wildly at work, and some of my favorite are actually of Colin's partner came down.
I love the picture of Colin and Danny.
And oh my goodness, I have like 3 photos of them just candidly looking at each other, smiling at each other, like it's a Hallmark film. And it's just wonderful. Like it's just stuff that as a candid photographer you dream of getting, but so that's what I did. It wasn't for Hallmark, it was just for my own pleasure.
Gotcha. You told me that, and I'm like, wait a minute. It's starting to match up. He's down there. I know Rhiannon's down there. And then you guys made a movie together, and I'm like, Alec, you sneaky son of a gun. I see what you were trying to do. No, I'm kidding.
It is funny how secretive we always have to be of these things, But,
yeah.
Some great photos.
But when we have our sleuthers, all the sleuthers, we know stuff that's getting ready to film, and that's announced that we aren't supposed to know because we have connections. And if we say, we can get in trouble.
Good, don't say it. You can say it and edit it out,
Yeah.
Well, this one I actually can. This was for all the Unwrapping movies.
Yeah.
We talked to Max, and Max said, I'm working on 2 films for a series. And we're like, can you give us a little bit of pizzazz who's in the movies? And he gave us the female stars, and he goes, I can't tell you any of the males.
Mm-hmm.
So he told us about that before he went and shot your film, and he just got done shooting Cindy's film.
Right. Yeah. I don't think he knew though. Like that's the thing. I think we were like last minute decisions. So I think he was just being honest.
Yeah.
Or like some of us got juggled around on that one because I think I was supposed to shoot early, then I ended up shooting later. I think they were just mixing and matching the men and the women. So
for Alec and Rhiannon, was this movie offered to you, or was there an audition process?
This one, I feel it's just been the best job for me. Colin and I, of course, did Costa Rica Romance, and then we went into Penguins, and then we did Machu Picchu. So it sort of has become like these movies are not easy to film. And I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here. If you can find somebody, and it seems to apply to you as the director, if you can find people that can do this, then they're going to hire you again, which is so great because there's not a lot of security in this job at all. So I was very grateful to be offered these jobs. I don't think you'll mind me saying this. And cut this if you do. They sort of half auditioned Alec, which I think is interesting. Like he had the job, but they had to have like a sit down. Were you on the call just to like make sure?
Were you on the call? Did you watch this call?
No, I didn't even know this happened.
Like they had a sit down Zoom interview to make sure Alec could handle it.
We had a vibe check. Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Yes. So actually, I thought you meant like a reading.
No. So like obviously acting wise, he had the job, but yeah, vibe check. He
started doing that after Costa Rica for Polar Opposites. We were like, this movie is going to be like not a walk in the park.
No.
And so we would call actors before we do it and be like, hey, we want to talk you through what this is going to be.
Yeah.
Because if, for the right person, it's going to be a great time. Like you get to go to the top of a mountain in Patagonia. For the wrong person, you have to go to the top of a mountain in Patagonia and like, it's going to be cold and like, there's no trailer.
Yeah.
There's maybe not a bathroom. I don't know. Like,
of course not.
No. We're shooting summer swimming scenes in like 8-degree weather. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You have to, like you see those mountains in Machu Picchu, like you got to get up there and then act.
Yeah.
So yeah, we kind of have had those conversations just to check to see if people really want to do it.
Yeah.
And there have been some no's out of those
And I
conversations.
think that's
of
great.
people-
It's good.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it was.
Because
it was an interview for sure. Yeah. Sorry, Colin. Go ahead.
No, dude, I said my piece.
No, it was an audition. I think we talked for like an hour, and you can say so much, about your resume too. Like, I was like, look, I'm fine. Like you tell people you're fine with, trekking and going on crazy places. And I'm like, look, I taught outdoor education. Like I've been in the woods with like teenagers for like 2 weeks at a time, But like you can say that on your resume, and just like any resume, you fluff a little bit. And the interview always brings out, sort of the realness of it.
Yeah.
But I, also, for myself, I wanted to know who I was getting, to travel with for
Totally
a month in South America. So no, it was really cool. I thought it was a great process. I didn't feel the pressure of an interview, if that makes any sense. But yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like it was a let's make sure we both understand what this is, get along, and like want to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and I have to say, Alec was like Alec was the most joyful out of everybody all the time. Again, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Do you remember when you got in trouble at the Machu Picchu ruins?
Oh yeah.
He's having such a great time. What did you do? It was like
I jumped or something. Oh, I wanted a flying photo kick.
Yeah, a flying photo kick that Alec wanted, but only because he's just so happy and so joyful and having the best time. And then the police up at the top there were like, "We're going to shut down your whole movie if that guy does anything again."
No photo flying kick for me. No, I didn't know. You can't. There were all these lists of rules at the ruins, and one of them is you can't jump. Anyway.
It does feel like a random rule.
Yeah.
I mean, it stood for 1,000 years. I don't think any one jump would, but I get it. They don't want, I don't know.
I got yelled at for an umbrella.
Did you?
Really?
Brandon, before you were all let in, Brandon and I were standing there in the rain.
Yeah, it was
with umbrellas, like not near anything, just like standing in the grass. And somebody comes over and goes, "No umbrella," and we're like, getting rained on. We're just like, okay, it's gonna be a long day.
Yeah.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah. Sun hasn't hit the horizon, soaking wet.
Yeah.
Top of a mountain. Let's do it.
Yeah, there were a lot of security guards, but that's a good thing. That's a good
totally.
thing. Because, like, I'm sure it being one of the most visited sites on the planet, like I'm sure people get up to no good. So having them there, even for like minor things like that, is a win for sure.
Agreed. Yeah.
What was your favorite thing you took away from learning about Katie and Carlos while on set?
I think we both kind of answered that, already, right? Like Rhiannon talked about her own personal journey as throughout the film. I talked about just sort of like it's so much of traveling. The best part of it is sort of the people you meet.
Great.
And there's definitely lots of elements in my character that are there, but I just, if I'm feeling down, just bring a little bit more Carlos into my life, and things are a little bit better. So I think that's what I learned.
Yeah, there's so much too. Of course, there's stuff to be learned that I sort of touched on with the characters, but there is so much to learn from Alec. And again, I was touching on that before. I've just never met a more joyful person. You're so joyful. Even when everybody else is having a terrible time, you're just really happy. And it's so wonderful to be around. And again, that was probably because we just came off the glacier. We were all really feeling rough. To just have the energy of Alec come in and truly lift everybody up, much like Carlos does. It's something that I will never forget how you made everybody around you feel.
Well, I mean, you're very much like that too. We'll be shooting something in a moment. We'll yell cut or something. If Rhiannon notices something off the corner of her eye, someone stubs their toe, like she has this like power. It's like, oh my God, you're hurt. Can I help you? So
we had such a good time, Alec. We really did. I don't want to work with anyone but Alec anymore. Tyler Hines, he never leaves my list. Alec and Tyler Hines, that's my list now.
It was a lot of fun. you know, because you guys, you were recovering from your last film. You know, I got there and I was really stoked because I didn't have any of the altitude symptoms. I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm, you know, look at me, Mr. Iron Man. But then later at night, because I went for a run too the first day, I'm like, I can run here, I'm fine. And then I just couldn't sleep.
You didn't sleep for like 48 hours.
For the first like week, I think I slept like 6 hours, and it's one of the symptoms of high altitude is you just can't sleep.
Yep.
And so when we had our first kiss, Rhiannon was coming down from a
nothing. Pretty sure I had pneumonia. Yeah,
like a pretty heavy pneumonia, and I hadn't slept for like 4 days.
Yeah. So that again, I can't wait to see it. We're both dying as we're kissing each other by that fountain. Yeah.
I think it may lend itself to the acting, you know, the desperation and the
And here's another thing I don't know if you two know. Did you know that on day one of the bags of camera equipment was stolen?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we knew that.
It was stolen, but better than that, it was stolen and it ended up in that plaza that we were shooting on day 2. So at the top of the waterfall, through one of those doors, the air tag told us the stolen camera bag was sitting. So David and Polly were like keeping an eye on that that door up top where the stolen camera equipment was while you had pneumonia. You were just meeting and also kissing. Yeah. And couldn't get the fountain off, and then we couldn't get the fountain back on. So you know, it was a day.
That's right. And then there was somebody in the fountain who you politely said, "Excuse me, ma'am, can you please get out of the fountain?"
Yeah, they were very upset.
Yeah.
Well, side note, I was gonna ask us a little bit later, but when I talked about a Royal in Paradise, with Adrian, there was one scene where he almost had a meltdown. You had 3 days to shoot on a beach, and the first 2 days were cold and cloudy and raining. And then the final day, as you're getting the shot, you're happy-go-lucky, just happy, smiling, kissing everything. All of a sudden, the cameraman just keeps moving into the water.
Oh yeah, he drowned.
And Adrian's like, if he doesn't move, I'm gonna kill him. What was your reaction to that? Were you acting but also concerned about him? Were you concerned?
Oh yeah, but we did the same thing for Costa Rica. Like it was literally the same situation. Drowning. The DOP drowning in both situations.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
and
right.
I also think Adrian and Colin are very similar. Both of them wearing jeans inexplicably. And they're in the ocean, also drowning. Colin's lost his glasses. He's trying to sit on a surfboard. He can't. Like these are hardcore jobs. If you read them sometimes on paper, you don't even process what that is going to look like on the day. I mean, the one in Costa Rica didn't even make the movie. That's how bad that one was.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was not our finest hour.
We need that story at some point. At some point. But my last question for just a little bit, so that I can shut up and let my co-host go. This one is just for Colin. How did this movie come in your hands? All the directors say they want these exotic special movies shot in different places instead of just a cabin in Canada or in the woods or something. How did this one come to you, and what was the process of this film for you?
So this one really, I was involved pretty much from the start, but it's kind of because of the other ones. Like Rhiannon said, like once you are known as the person who can go to the places other people, you know, and prove you can do it, it kind of becomes a thing, right? And I haven't in the past been known for other things, but I don't mind being known for this one. But it all began, honestly, with Tim Johnson, the executive producer, was talking to me 5 years ago. And he's like, I have a movie I want to make in Antarctica. I don't know who can do that. Would you do that? And I was like, absolutely, count me in. Like, I will, like, script aside, I will go to Antarctica to shoot a movie. And that movie kept not happening because it's really hard. And other things happened instead. So we did the Maldives, and then we did 2 in Greece. And then that kind of started, like, we developed Costa Rica, right? Juliana wrote that from scratch, from concept. And then
Maldives, right? Maldives too, didn't she?
She did, yeah. But she wasn't the first writer on that one. That one had a more traditional kind of development history from a book, which is actually back here. And then, oh no, sorry, the book is Greece. And then for these two, so Polar Opposites was the original Antarctica movie that got rewritten into that. It really isn't the same movie, but concept. And then this one, Machu Picchu, I don't remember where the original idea came from, but it kind of came from location first. We were like, let's do a Machu Picchu movie. And then Juliana, Tim, and I, and David Boyles, the kind of physical producer, we all just started thinking about plots. And I know I wrote out like 3 or 4 of them, and Juliana wrote out 3 or 4 of them, and we kind of brainstormed them, shopped them around, and kind of honed the story into writing the script based on, connections in the local area. And then we traveled out there, before Polar Opposites, we did a double scout, and Juliana had time while we were in Argentina to hone the script into the final version. So I was kind of involved from concept, really.
Yeah, I think what Colin wants to say too is that, like, yes, I mean, you watch these two and you're like, what a dream, and it was certainly a dream. But I always said that, like, the behind the scenes documentary is a fascinating survivalist field. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I think a lot of people see the prettiness, and it's not, but it is like everyone's wearing multiple hats. I mean, our DPs are, one and only camera op. You're only working with one camera.
Yeah.
Like, and that usually, doesn't happen in most films. And like you said before, no trailer, nothing. Like, everyone is just, you're up at 6 and you're in bed by 10, but you're trying to help out, and everyone's trying to help out. And I think the film industry gets really compartmentalized sometimes, and people are like, no, I won't do this. This is all I do. And this really wouldn't work.
No.
Kind of setting.
No, absolutely not. Even down to that, we don't really rope off areas to shoot. Like, we will just shoot in the middle of the market.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Sometimes it means someone will stop right in front of the camera and wave, and then we go again. Like, it's not traditional filmmaking by any sense.
Walk right up to you and go, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Acting.
Tremendous amount of patience. Yeah. And Rhiannon, the fish, is so good at that. It's one thing I definitely learned from her. It's like, you're halfway through a scene, instead of like starting over, you just go quiet a little bit, you reconnect with the person, and she stays in it the whole time. And it could be like someone could be honking a horn for 30 seconds, or a dog can be barking, but you have it's rolling. We don't want to cut it. Because you only get so many shots, and you wait for the sound to die down, and then you go. And it took me a couple of days to like get into that vibe, but it is something she's incredible at. Like,
thanks, Alec.
Yeah, no, honestly, part of it too is like the team that has been assembled from cast all the way, to the crew. We've picked up people along the way. So like, we have the gaffer and the grip were from Costa Rica. We brought them in from there, as was, the production designer, sound. He's been involved. Axel's been involved since the Maldives.
Yeah.
These are the people who like went through it and can make it work. And I feel like to some extent what we do is, because I've said in the past, I'm like, well, we're shooting this Christmas movie in a park in the summer where everything is green and we can only shoot an angle this wide. Yeah. Like, why don't we go to the place? And then everywhere you look is beautiful.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of that, but the logistics involved in that are like, you have to know the shape of the thing you're making, right?
Yeah.
Like, we are making a Hallmark movie. It is a rom-com. Here's the script-ish. And then these are the people who can do it.
Yeah.
And then most of the effort is like, get there.
Yes.
Get the things. And then it's like, and now we'll put on a play.
Exactly. Yeah.
In the 15 minutes we're here.
Yeah.
Let's put on a play.
Yeah.
So this one's for Alec, which we kind of touched on. So how did it feel like getting to be back there since you were born in Brazil?
It's like Kismet, right? It's like it's a strange, it's one of those, acting is one of those things you dream of since you were like a little kid. Like, I want to be an actor. Then you become an adult and you're like, oh my God, this is really hard. And then I'm like, to go back to South America, and like I have a very interesting relationship with Peru. The last time I was there, I was 13 years old, and I was visiting there. A friend of mine from Chile had moved there. And my parents were like, go spend the summer with them. They have a place down by the beach, go play basketball. And I was going to get to see Machu Picchu as well when I was 13.
Yeah.
But I got in this huge accident, that I had to get. I was helicoptered to the hospital. I got 177 stitches, holding on my dear life. The American Marines actually saved my life. And and then the remaining of my trip was kind of in bed. My mom couldn't come after for this accident because I was under the jurisdiction of my friend's parents, who are American, had American embassy connections. So the American government saved my life essentially, which is pretty cool. But as a result, I didn't go to Machu Picchu. My trip was kind of cut half short, and then to be invited to come back and to be in a movie like this just felt kind of magical from the get-go, so it was. So yeah, all the stuff we talked about before in terms of like the homecoming, feeling at home with the language and the people and the food, and the full circle moment was pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's good though that you kind of got to like redeem your experience
Yeah.
And what a way to see it too. Wow. We thought we weren't going to get to see it, and then we saw it. Like it was the most stressful I've ever seen Colin in my life.
Not for me. Yeah.
You could feel it, as you said, because when we arrived there, you had an umbrella on. It was raining. You couldn't see, and I'm assuming we could only shoot this in the winter, right? Because the summer would be so busy there, and you run the risk sometimes in the winter that. The clouds, there's always cloud coverage that time of year because it rains almost every day, but it tends to burn off and it tends to shine itself so bright. But we got there in the first few hours, no Machu Picchu to be seen.
I have never prayed hard I was praying, and it was only because like it would have, I don't know what that would have done, Colin. It would, so we won't even think about it. We won't even go there, but you could not see it. We could have been anywhere, because you couldn't see Machu Picchu ruins.
It's actually, so on that day, most of this movie was actually fairly straightforward as these go. Like, I was not worried about it. But Machu Picchu was a 14-page day. We had to take a bus in the dark up to the top of the mountain, hike in. Like, you're not allowed to walk in the wrong direction on the paths. You're not allowed to put anything down. Like, the tourists are still there. We didn't close anything off, right? So it was a lot. And then you have to leave at sundown, so we don't have a full day. No. And in the morning, we originally planned to shoot the day in the opposite order. So we were like, okay, it might rain in the afternoon, so let's move the proposal scenes first. And that's not a spoiler.
No.
Even though it is the title. There's still surprises up our sleeves. But the tricks. But we moved that first as a gamble, and then that they're totally different places. Like, one is like an overlook view, and so we hiked up to the overlook, and it was just grass and white. Like, you couldn't see anything. And then everybody got up there, the camera's set up, we're all ready, and they're like, "All right, let's go." And I'm like, "There's nothing to shoot, guys. Like, I don't." The pressure is shoot anyway.
Carlos energy going. I was like, I need people to feel better, and I just got a look from Colin like, you don't. Right now, Carlos, stay away. Nothing happy right now.
We waited for it, and it was worth it because when it started to clear, oh my God! But like, it felt bad. Like, just standing there,
it felt waiting, so bad.
Filming.
Oh, yeah, it was heartbreaking. Oh,
there it is. There's Machu Picchu. And speaking of two beautiful people, those two, my goodness.
Amazing.
My
goodness.
Absolutely
beautiful humans. Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of leads into a different question that I had. So I know Alec's character kind of keeps interfering with the proposal. Can you kind of touch on that a little bit with like what sort of happens and leads to it without spoiling it?
Sure. I mean, from Carlos's point of view, he just wants to party every day with everyone. He just wants to get to know them. And I think for him in particular, he meets her and he's immediately in love. Like there's something special about this person, and he wants to find out, what more there is. And he thinks he's just in an adventure, and Carlos has no idea that this proposal is going on, by the way. So he's not trying to spoil it. He just wants everyone to have a good time. But his having a good time gets in the way more than once throughout the movie. Right, Kate?
From the conception of Carlos, we very much wanted him to be someone who, you said, not knowing it's happening is key. That he's just along for the ride and kind of having an experiential trip, right? He sees an opportunity, he takes it. He's the kind of person who makes friends everywhere he goes. And like we tried to build that in a bit where like he meets people and just like, it's like, oh, I taste the delicious food. I'm going to go into the kitchen and befriend the chef. And before you know it, we're making it too. And like Katie is just not that person. She's the person who's like, at this time we're going to be here and then the thing's going to show up. And Carlos is on just a different trip, and his trip is more fun. So it kind of draws everyone into his world a little bit. And also Lucy doesn't know, so they're friends. And so if he's like, oh, great idea, let's do this now. Before you know it, they're off, and Katie and Dan are there stewing in the dust.
This one we actually did kind of touch on. So I'm
sorry about that, guys. We talked about it so much at the start. It ruined it.
We talked too much.
No apologies needed at all. We love this, and if anybody wants this, I clip all these out anyways.
Sure.
Well, I guess I could kind of put it this way. Did you help Rhiannon at all with speaking Spanish in this movie, or give her any tips?
That's a great question. Did I? I don't know. Did I?
There was this.
Correct you? Like, no, not like we can't. We like Rhiannon.
There was this whole long line that was. I obviously don't remember it. The only Spanish I remember is one line from Costa Rica Romance that got cut. But this one was this big long line that I had to say to a room full of people, and I said it to Alec, and Alec was like, nobody would say this. This is not how you. Who wrote this? Respectfully. So he helped me. And so much of it, yes, was him knowing the language better, but also just helping me. He was like, we can knock this down to like 3 words for her. It's going to make it better. He was so helpful, as was, of course, having an entire crew of people that I could ask, like, does this sound good? And it was difficult too, Colin, because Portuguese and Spanish are different. And then there was one time when we were trying to just say, I think were we trying to say pink? We were, right?
Yes.
And everybody on the crew had a different take on how to say it. So it was great to have so many different insights into it, but also in some ways it was also a little confusing at times.
Well, also we had crew from so many different Spanish-speaking countries.
Yeah, you're right.
They don't, each country, they don't necessarily use the same words or the same pronunciation for the same things. And so we had to lean on our Peruvians for assistance at times, like how to pronounce Luciana. That was a scary one. Remember, like on day 2, I can't remember who one of you was like, is it, or maybe it was Chris, was like, is it Luciana or Luciana? And we're like, oh.
That was after a week of shooting that we talked about that. When we did our table read after a week of shooting. Not ideal, but we still got it. And it was that we had the conversation of how do we say this character's name.
That was
and also like as far as like the Spanish goes, I always relish in the opportunity to speak it, but I being Brazilian, I know it's not my first language. I am fluent in it because I've lived in so many different places, and I'm very like aware that all countries are very, very proud of their own version of Spanish. So I try to bring that in whenever I go. I think the famous one is like Narcos from Netflix. It was a Brazilian actor who did not speak very good Spanish, and so I tried to do that. In the last movie, I worked on my Puerto Rican accent. And this one, I was fortunate enough to have lived with like in a house of 3 Mexicans when I was in my 20s. And so I'm speaking with a Mexican accent in Peru. Yeah. And it's really funny because, our sound guy, who's so wonderful, by the way, Axel, he comes up to me, he's like, Alec, man, like why why are you speaking Mexican, man? Why are you speaking with a Mexican accent? Are you supposed to be Peruvian? I'm like, accent. My character was Mexican. He's like,
which is not a coincidence, by the way. That's what I was talking about with Juliana, like adapting the script to fit reality. Yeah. We're like, oh, he's lived it, like he's lived in Mexico. Let's make his character Mexican American.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. So he's like, why are you saying these specific Mexican Spanish words? And I was like, oh, that's great. You think I'm Mexican, so that's all.
Success.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love how you guys got to be like so like immersed in the whole culture.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite like scene where you got to like do something like traditional cooking or shopping in town? Because I saw like the photos pop up on the Hallmark website, and I was like, wow, they got to do so many things with the locals and in town.
Oh yeah, that was lovely. I mean, it's so tricky. All of it was. I didn't love the market. That wouldn't be on my list. But I loved the salt mines. Was incredible. Yeah. And it was one of those things where I didn't know it would be like that, but we got there and it was just our crew, as it so often is in some of those special locations. Mm-hmm. And it was, again, there was just something almost spiritual about it. It was felt like cleansing and healing. And it was also just more beautiful than I ever could have imagined. I loved shooting at the salt mines for sure. That was one of my favorites. Absolutely.
Except for the bus drive on the way down.
Can we tell the story?
Yeah, we weren't sure we could get back out.
Oh my gosh.
We weren't sure we could get there. The crew had to, is this legal to say? The crew got out and built a bridge for us to drive over to get there.
Yeah.
We did snack rock. So mostly other people. But.
This is one of those things where you had to see it to believe it.
Oh yeah.
And we would love to see it, but there's no way we'll ever see it.
Oh no.
We need like a bloopers reel, like after the movie comes out.
This is for everybody. What's the scene you're all excited for the audience to see?
I mean, I haven't seen the movie yet. Have you seen it, Rhiannon?
No.
Yeah, so there's a lot of scenes I'm excited to watch as well for the first time. So I don't know.
I'll go with the end of the first Machu Picchu sequence with the first planned proposal. I think that scene is really fun.
Yeah.
That actually
I don't want to
into
say
the next one.
much more.
Yeah, there's just so much of it that I want to see, because once again, usually you have more time in most movie sets to like look at dailies or look at how the movie's looking, but except for a few shots here and there, we're kind of in the dark.
And like you've said, we've all said as well, you move so quickly that there's going to be so much of it that I don't even remember doing.
Mm-hmm.
Who's here? Is there a kitten, Colin? Who are we seeing?
She's not happy to be here.
Oh, hi.
She's going to wander through eventually.
Oh.
This is also this must be a first for you, Noah and Kristen. We're all very much cat. So we've all bonded over that.
We've had a lot of different dogs on the show, but this is the first time we've had all cats.
Ever. And one thing that I forgot to mention is that this is the 1 year anniversary of the podcast. So this is the 1 year anniversary.
Congratulations.
You guys are 1 year anniversary interview, which this is a special one. I'm not kidding you. That this is becoming one of my favorites. This is going swimmingly well than either of us thought.
Well, you found one of my tricks, which is just put these two on camera and let them go.
I've never understood the adverb swimmingly. Is swimmingly easy? Like, is swimming easy? I never understood it.
That's really funny. What you've just said is really funny. That's actually one of my favorite things I've ever heard you say. Because I suppose swimming is hard for you?
Well, no, I'm a swimmer. I used to swim.
Oh, okay. You're right. People that are bad swimmers would think, going swimmingly means that it's really difficult
How did it go?
Swimming
Swimmingly.
is-
I'm like, oh my god. Like,
No.
Definitely one of the more difficult forms of
Right,
travel. Like
right.
it's not easier than walking.
yeah, I think we need to revisit that adjective for sure. Yeah.
All the time, every week, I get asked at least once a week at work or in my DMs, how do you interview all these people? And my secret is everyone usually thinks we're filming as soon as they come on, so we break the ice with them and we get to know you. We get less nervous as we go. And now this is just 5 friends talking. That's what we like to make this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And at the end of the day, we're all human beings. You guys are actors and filmmakers, but you're human beings. We all do the same things. We love these movies. We love the fans. We are fans and we love the fans.
Mhm.
But this to us is learning about what we love more, sharing our passion with it, and getting to meet lovely people like you, telling us stories that we would never have heard and the audience would have never have heard if not you guys telling us this.
Absolutely. Yeah, but it's absolutely, it's a credit to you guys. And I know in any of the clips I've watched of you, I've mostly seen yours now, I'm pretty sure. You are very passionate about it. You both are. And that is very infectious. It's a pleasure. Sometimes when we make these movies, it feels like can feel, I'll speak for myself, a little disconnected. Like you sometimes forget who you're making them for or who's enjoying them or who's watching them. And so to ever be able to put a face to somebody that is passionate about them, it's such a pleasure. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Which she said. Yeah, what she said.
Yes.
I don't know if you're actually allowed to answer this or not, but we talked a little bit about the proposal. Are you allowed to say if there's possibly 2 at the end?
Colin, you're the boss.
I don't know what we're allowed to say, but I'm not gonna say because I think you should watch the movie and find out.
Yeah.
I do think the scene is the movie lives up to its name, and I'm really proud of this one, and I can't wait for people to see it. I'm there's not a part of this where I'm like cringing, kind of waiting for that scene to get over. Like it's a solid movie start to finish. It's one of the times where it was. Actually, I think I told you, Rhiannon, like we were in the edit and we had it at like 97 minutes.
Yeah.
And there's just this like sinking feeling where I'm like, I have to cut another 10 minutes out of this, like more. And it's like, no, I don't want any of these scenes to go. Like they're all good. So nice. I do think it actually got better with the final cuts. Just like really, we could tweak the dynamics to make things really shine. But I think I can't say whether there's 2, but you will enjoy the Machu Picchu proposal.
Even to speak on Juliana quickly, our writer, like I worked with Juliana too all the way back. I did Splash of Love. She wrote the whale movie, and she's always been one of my favorite writers. But having done now several of her movies now, I would say this one is hands down my favorite writing of hers. It's just she wrote a really, really good script. And then combined with everything else that we've mentioned, I'm very proud of this movie. I cannot wait. And I say that very genuinely. I can't wait for the audiences and for us to be able to see it.
I'll leave you with something thirsty, can I?
Yeah.
This may or may not have a record amount of kisses. So
are we making records, Alec? I forgot. Like I said, I don't really remember making the movie. We've got how many kisses do we have?
Oh, you have to watch to find out.
You have to watch the movie to find out. But he's right about that. And I will say there was a point where I'm like, are we cutting some of this? And the answer is no.
Fantastic, yeah.
I will count and I will put in the group chat how many we've done.
It was warranted. It's definitely warranted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Earned, as characters like to say.
Well, we know that Alec, your character, is a chef in the movie. Did you have to do any training to prepare for the cooking scenes?
So luckily my character is not doing much of the cooking. He's doing a lot of the eating. And so I was very, very prepared for that. Julianne actually wrote an incredible line and it made the trailer. I'm so happy it did. And it's Dan, her brother, Katie's twin brother, says he's trying to convince her to go along with this, and he goes, this could be your eat, pray, love moment.
Yeah.
We have all the eating down, so and it's just such a wonderful delivery.
Right, it's a good line. Yeah.
So yeah, I think Chef Carlos is mostly just eating in this, and Alec is very good at that.
And again, too, we were all just learning it on the day. It was a little bit of a bloodbath making was it chocolate? What were we making?
Cacao, yeah.
Cacao.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a bloodbath. The cooking of the empanadas, that was pretty smooth. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that was the last thing we shot. That was pretty smooth, but yeah, we did a lot of eating and a lot of really good stuff too.
The food in Peru is really, really good.
Agreed.
Best chips in the world. No, this little known fact: best chips in the world.
I love.
We ate a lot of those chips.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And now we're all hungry again.
Yeah.
This one is for Colin. So you have made a lot of movies with Rhiannon. How is this one more special than the other ones?
So first of all, I love all three of them. I had to do a reel recently. I watched back and I'm like, this is funny. But so it's pretty rare actually to be able to work 3 times in a row with the same person. And I feel like, having done that, you learn how they work and like how you perform and what this role is going to feel like coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
So since this was conceived essentially for her, like in the location, like from script to screen, we all kind of knew how it was going to go. And that meant that we were able to kind of hone in on, I think, a really special character and a really, good performance and a good movie. And just it all worked well together. And you get a shorthand. And because sometimes when the first time you work with somebody, like day one, you go out and you do the scene, it's like, oh, that's how this is going to go. Even if it's great, it's like not what you imagined, and then you adapt. But you don't have to do that because you start from knowing what you're doing.
Exactly. And it's like this shorthand that you can have with each other. My favorite thing about Colin, and not all directors are like this, you can just say to him, fix this. Something is wrong with this scene. I don't know what it is. Fix it. And Colin he fixes it. He's just such a great problem solver, which, I mean, it's why you're so good at these jobs in particular. But you're such an actor's director, in that if something doesn't feel right, Colin will always just make it feel right for you. And I love that, because it's not always the case at all.
Mm-hmm. There's one final question about the movie, but we've got some general questions too, that we got to get to know you guys a little bit more. The final one is, how would you describe this movie in one word?
One word.
Mr. Ball.
You need to, all of a sudden you need glasses? We've been reading.
Well, I couldn't hear it. So I had to read it. The other times I couldn't hear it. No.
We're getting close to the end, but I put your glasses on. They look great.
No, but they shine too much, so I can't.
Did you?
I'm going to go with just Peru.
Peru.
There's a lot of Peru in this movie, in a good way.
Yes.
I'm going to go with amor, which is love in Spanish.
Aww. I think it was magic.
We cheat. We got 3 words.
It's 1 word each. Do we have to agree? Do we have to come to a consensus? No. Are we voting?
No, they work together. No. That's
good. But we can do something with 3. Let's do this. What are some of the things, 3 things, that make each of you special to each other? Let's start with Alec, and then we'll go Rhiannon and Colin. What makes each of these 2 special to you, Alec?
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, this is probably one of my most memorable and fun and just all around. Usually so many movies are kind of a blur, but I can remember, I have so many wonderful memories, not just from shooting it, but spending time with each and every one of you. Like, you know, being with Rhiannon after a long day and just getting to know her on the bus, or, you know, troubleshooting with Colin throughout the day and just getting to know, like, it really does. I mean, so when you get to a movie set, or if it's a big show, sometimes it does feel like you're punching in a clock and you're out. Like the wonderful collaborative aspect of working with the two of you just elevated this movie and made it, you know, what it is. So I can't wait to work with the two of you again, hopefully, you know.
Same. Whose turn?
This is kind of nice. We're just like, it's like a circle and we just say something nice about each other. Oh my God. Like,
okay, I'll go.
Therapy.
First of all, I'm so glad I'm doing it with you guys, because with Peace and Love, there are movies I've done where you could have asked this and I would have thought like, oh God, like how am I gonna
what does my publicist say I have to say?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I mean this so sincerely. Oh my God, I've been saying it the whole time, but I just really like both of these men. They're really lovely human beings, and to show up to work every day and just be around them. And I'll include Brendan, our DOP, in that too, because I spend most of my day with those three men. Like, those were the three people that I was with mostly all day. And you were just so nice. And I think for me, that is obviously my favorite thing in people, is just to be kind. And you were all kind every single day. And you also never, ever once just sat back and was like, oh, well, it's going to be what it's going to be. We're not reinventing the wheel. This is just a whatever. No, you elevated every single thing that we went into. And yeah, it's just the best. I hope I pray that we get to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, it truly does feel collaborative. Yeah.
It really does.
It does. So yes to everything they both said. And also, you know, I feel like the energy of a set really comes from the people, like the kind of, you know, the leads. And for each of them, I feel like they brought an incredible energy to the group. Rhiannon is like probably the like kindest, nicest, just like most caring actress I've ever worked with. And as Alec said, like, you know, if somebody stubs a toe, she's like, oh, what's wrong? And Alec, just like, listen to his soothing voice. Like, is you know, just always relaxed. And both of them are so dedicated and never give in to this is what it is. And whatever, I feel like you start the day with your material, and you can do it, you can underperform it, or you can add to it. And both of them are always adding until the bell, right? Like every version we do gets better and better and better. And they're always asking questions and always examining the material and examining the possibilities of things that we haven't tried yet, or what is and isn't working, and trying to make it the best it can be. And I think that it shows both in the energy of everyone there and the good time that we have, and in the movie itself.
Well, speaking of asking questions, let's take a break from us asking you questions. Let's move into Ask the Hosts. Is there anything that any of you would like to ask us? We are open to anything, and we'll answer completely honestly.
What's your least favorite movie I've done?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, since you know that I'm honest. Since you know I'm honest.
That's what I'm asking you.
I'm going to say
the unhonest answer is not worth asking.
It was love? That's fair. I respect that. Thank you for your honesty.
But my favorite, I got to say, is Nikki and Nora.
I love
Nikki and Nora.
Oh, I love the Nikki and Nora movies. Yeah. I've been like hoping that there was going to be more.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
One here, and maybe we could get something going with Hallmark. You, Hunter, do another movie.
No, you and Hunter together were just incredible. Like, it was completely believable sister bond. It was
Thanks. I love her. She's one of my. Have you guys spoken to her?
No.
We have not. She's impossible to get a hold of.
I know she's super busy. I'll put in a good word for you guys because you just adore her. She's incredible person. I love her.
Well,
Thank
Hallmark
you.
fans have a lot to say. You get the ball rolling. You made that happen for her, for sure.
Come on, guys.
It's true.
Create like 20 Reddit accounts. You know, that's what they do.
I would say you guys watch probably more Hallmark movies than I do. I mean, definitely more. Probably not for more hours, but definitely more. What do you think hasn't been done that should be done?
Great question.
Oh, I'm gonna let Kirsten go for this one.
Okay. I feel like we need to see more comedy in movies.
Okay.
Because I really enjoyed, I don't know if you guys know these ones or not, but like Call Out the Holly, they went like full force with Wes Brown and Lacey Chabert. The romance, the comedy, it had it all. And like you were constantly laughing throughout the whole movie. And I feel like there's so many like actors on the channel that you don't know that are like secretly funny, like Wes Brown, and he'll just be like so witty and like off the cuff with it. And Alec, I noticed that in your movie too, your Christmas one. Oh my god, it was hilarious with like the Christmas card and like all of the people in the community coming together. I just love that aspect.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great feedback.
I mean, we had Angela Kinsey from The Office in it.
Yes, she was awesome in that movie.
But you know, I love that you say that because like a lot of Hallmark fans are kind of like, oh my god, this is too intense for me. This is like they're like, I appreciate the sentiment, but it's too funny. Like I want, you know. So I like Colin said before, you can't please everyone. But yeah, no, comedy is wonderful.
For me,
I guess I can ask you a question. Oh, go ahead. No, you got to answer that.
For me, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Hallmark has been progressive over the past couple of years, and I'm very proud of them. We've gotten a lot of gay-centered romance movies, and they've been received very, very well. What we haven't seen is a gay romance movie with black leads. I think that would be very progressive. Make that a Christmas film. And I think I have a couple of actors in mind who could do it. But I would like to see that. It's representation for the black people and the gay community. Everybody in all the groups gets so mad when I say these movies are not that bad. They're very good. You just got to be progressive with the times. And the people who watch them.
Has there even been a queer relationship between two women?
Yes.
Which one? I didn't know.
Oh my gosh.
That one.
There was Meyer and Nicole's one from last year.
Did Pat McNamara? Did she do one?
Place in New York.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Friends and Family Christmas is what it was called as a working title.
Oh, right. Right. Okay.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I spoke to the writer of that one, and I have a story about him, but I'll tell you that off stream. Great story. That's what I would really like to see. We need that. We've seen that done at Hulu, on Netflix, but I think Hallmark might like that. Not for the ratings, but for the just pure love of everybody now, because that's what Hallmark is. It's about love, no matter whether it's a man and woman, girl, guy, it doesn't matter. Just make it about love, and that's what Hallmark has always been. And it's 2025. Accept everybody, love everybody like we do. That's all you need to do, and the world will be a much better place. Yes.
Amen.
I think a little trivia. I was part of the first gay, and I was the first gay interracial kiss in Hallmark history.
Iconic, Alec.
With, on Campfire Christmas like 3 years ago.
Amazing. Amazing. I love that. I wish you told me that sooner. That is iconic. I love that.
What would you like to ask us, Alec?
What destination would you like to see?
I got it. Frankenmuth, Michigan. I'm joking. I'm completely.
Is that a real place?
Yes.
Frankenmuth?
It's the Christmas town in the state of Michigan. And it's Christmas all year round. The biggest store in the world for anything holiday related Christmas. It's a little bit north of Santa Claus, Michigan. which is a Christmas town there too.
I
So
love that. I love that. There's two
But-
Christmas
I
towns.
do feel like I've read that script.
Two.
yeah,
I haven't, but I feel like I have.
Yeah. The towns are competing. Who can be
yeah.
Love it.
If I'm being honest, I would like to see a Japanese Christmas romance movie.
That'd be neat.
Hmm,
Isn't
that would be fun.
interesting?
Cherry blossoms.
Hmm.
I have a feeling that you're alluding to something there, Rhiannon.
I was just going off Colin. He's the boss.
And Colin, I'm seeing that ear pull, Miss Carol Burnett there. I'm seeing that.
I playing my.
There's some fun in the world.
I listened to Rhiannon on a podcast recently where she said that she
Hey,
asked
yeah,
for
I didn't know you knew that.
and Christmas movie.
I think I also said it was my idea. Like, shut up. It's not my idea.
I mean, I would love that to happen. So
Yeah.
Let's text the producers after this, guys.
Japan.
yes.
Yeah, I'm not joking.
What about you, Kirsten? What's a destination you would like to see?
I would really like to see like another movie done in Iceland. I know Lacey did one there, but like I really want to like see them experience like the Northern Lights, like have like that type of experience and to like explore like all of the falls and like different things and stuff that there is to do in Iceland.
Beautiful.
Get Rhiannon out there. Didn't she do a movie with a Viking descendant? Wasn't he?
Yeah,
Isn't he
probably.
Swedish or something?
Oh yeah, I did that Viking movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be there. Don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to go. Like, I'm sad that we weren't a part of Colin's life when they did the Maldives. Like, hello.
I know.
Come on. Not that all these places aren't great.
Pretty
but
nice.
Crazy.
It was hot.
Did you do the Biltmore one too in Miami? Did you do Biltmore?
Yeah, so on my other hat as a producer, I worked on the Biltmore movie, and actually 2 movies in Iceland.
That's like one of the highest rated Hallmark films, isn't it? The Biltmore one. I think.
Amazing.
Yeah, that one was very well received. It was a great script, a great cast. Like just really the stars aligned very well for that movie.
Great.
Their outfits were amazing in that movie too.
Aw.
Like,
Keith.
were like, oh my gosh, it was beautiful.
Yeah, Keith, the costume designer Keith Nielsen, who you've probably interviewed. I haven't seen it, but it seems like someone you have, and if you haven't, you should. He's fantastic. He did a great job with those costumes.
Great questions. I'm glad we didn't get the same question. Normally, everybody asks, "How did you guys come to be?" How did this come to be? And everybody loves it. But thank you guys. We loved all those questions, and if you want to know that, we'll be happy to tell you anytime. Anytime.
Do you want to tell us?
Next interview.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so I was on a live stream with Benjamin Ayers on the Romance University page. I DM'd Kirsten and Amanda's page a while back just to try and make some friends. And it was about 4 or 5 months. I'm like, okay, the page isn't active anymore. I get off that live stream talking to Ben, Isabel, and Vanessa. And this one over here DMs me and goes, hey, 5 months later, I'm like, okay, cool. We go back and forth. Eventually, I'm like, wait a minute, this girl is a massive Hallmark fan.
Aww.
So let's start a podcast. She goes, yeah, let's start a podcast. We started to do one thing. We were going to talk about the movies, and then Max McGuire happened as our first interview. And then we just got more and more and more and more. And here we are. And we love this. We work really hard. Anytime that we get anybody, should I tell them what happened this past Sunday?
Oh yeah. I wish people could see our reactions. Like,
Oh my God. When Colin texted me, said, do you want me to try and get Rhiannon? I said, that'd be great. I know she's probably busy. If you can, I completely understand. Thank you for trying. As soon as you said that you got her, I don't think I've seen Kirsten scream or heard her scream. Did you see his response? Did you see it? And I didn't yet. I was in Indiana and I was with family, and all of a sudden I'm like, see what? That notification didn't come through. And then I saw it. I'm like, we're getting Rhiannon Fish too. Okay.
You.
These are the moments that we live for.
Aw,
We love to talk to all of you, and when somebody else gets added,
oh yeah, this was great. We should be. Yeah, I'm traveling with you guys now in the also. Rude. Any podcast I do, you guys are coming. It's great.
but we do have a couple more questions for all of you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna let Kirsten off the leash a little bit because I know she's biting to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay, so the first one that I had was, I did not know, Alec, that you do teaching and like sub. I'm actually a teacher. I just finished my first year of teaching. I teach first grade. So I kind of want to hear like how you got into teaching.
Wow, that's first grade. That's intense. Elementary, no, I don't. Give me the apathy. Give me the teenagers that don't want to be there over the energy of first graders. I mean, I always loved school like a lot growing up, and all the schools I went to, and some of the most influential people in my life have always been teachers. I'm still like friends. Like one of my best friends was my grade 10 Spanish literature teacher. And so it was, so I went to school, I studied biochemistry, and then I was like, no, I want to be an actor, that dream was still there. So I went back to acting, took all the classes, and I had this degree in the back of my head. And I was like, you know what, I can teach, and I'm going to give acting a go for a few years. And if it doesn't, the ball doesn't get moving, I'll teach full time. I'll go back to Brazil and teach international school or something like that. And yeah, no, I feel even as the ball is rolling now, I think I'll just substitute forever. I love teaching. Today I just came back. The reason that this interview had to be at 4:30 is because I taught till
you were at
3:30. Yeah, we were teaching. We were going over Othello in English, and and it's just so wonderful. And because I've been at it for so long now, teachers will call me and request me. And so,
fantastic.
like last week, I was dissecting a frog, with my students, and then this week we're discussing Othello. And all that, and because the students know that like I'm an actor as well, and they can Google me right away. They I'm very lucky. I'm treated very well as a sub. It's not like it's a sub. Let's make his life hell. Like
you're like that dreamy actor sub.
The funny thing is, I've auditioned for teacher roles many times, and
they
go like, no, you don't look like a teacher.
Oh, thanks.
I don't buy it.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't look like somebody. So yeah, that is so cool. Your first year, that is the hardest year to become a teacher.
Yeah.
Especially now with all the the challenge it is now. That is so cool. That makes me you guys are awesome to begin with, but the fact that you're a teacher, teachers are, I just substitute so I can do the acting thing, but in general, they're all wearing hero capes, and that connections that you do create with the students, and in grade 1, like my goodness, like you are so important to them. Yeah, you are so important to them. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
And then my question for Rhiannon was, what was it like to work with Tyler Hynes? Because I'm definitely a huge Tyler fan, and I've gotten to meet
you and me both. I think it was like one of the first things I talked to Alec about for no reason. Like I was just like, I am obsessed with Tyler Hynes. Yeah. You want to talk about it? I love him. He's just I just love him. I've only got to work with him once, and I like it too. He is obviously adored by the fans, but I really, in my opinion, he's a great guy, and he has not let any of it really get to his head. He still shows up every day, knows all his dialogue, much like working with these two guys who are constantly trying to make it better. The script that we worked on, we did a lot of rewrites, which I loved. I just love that he's still trying to make everything as good as he possibly can. And to me, it's just absolutely gorgeous. I just have to have some time.
I think that's another movie maybe we should have had a kiss count for, because that
be rude. Yeah, I'll be curious to see how many kisses were in mine with Tyler and then mine with Alec. I would like to top the list with both of them. Yeah.
And then the other thing too for Rhiannon was I saw, like, I didn't realize that you did Dancing with the Stars. So could you kind of like talk about what that experience was like?
Well, while I didn't correct Alec because I liked how it sounded, I did came second. I was robbed.
Oh, second. Just second. And that's
You're such a failure.
So, yeah. I'm out.
Doesn't know how to dance. Like, you're fine, Alec. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It was really hard. I mean, I sometimes think about it with, these movies that we do also very, very difficult. And in a very similar way, you don't have much time. You've got to learn 3 new dances basically overnight to then show up and do them on live television as you're competing and then getting eliminated again on live television. It was a dream. I've always watched the show. This was, of course, in Australia. I had always watched it, always wanted to be on it. So when I got to do it, it was like a childhood dream come true. I loved it.
When she told me, I definitely went back to my hotel and YouTube dancing.
Yeah.
And binged all of it.
And then, no, I just cried a little bit. I was like, I don't know. That's why I couldn't sleep for a week. Yeah.
Yeah. Hours and hours of just all the footage that I didn't. I'm jealous because I didn't get to do it.
Yeah. I invited Chris over to my room and we danced for hours.
Yeah.
Better. Yeah.
So to end this off, let's go into some general questions just to get to know all of you a little bit better, and then we'll start the ending with a little bit of a sweet moment.
Oh,
how could it be sweeter than that?
Oh my goodness. Okay. I think the interview is over now because we have all been overshadowed.
Love. Oh my goodness. Oh.
That's a Hallmark card right now, damn it. That's a Hallmark card.
That's Act 9.
He loves my house.
Let's try not to awe, but that is impossible. Not to awe. That might be the cutest thing we've ever had on the podcast.
Yeah.
I know. If only we could do headshots with our cats, then life would be a little bit better.
Who says we can't, Alec?
Tired.
There are no rules.
My cat will come along. This is for all of you. What's the first thing you go for at the crafting table?
We don't have one.
Yeah, we don't have that.
on a normal set.
On a normal set?
You have a craft person who carries around a
basket. Yeah. We had some good. I know we did talk. The chips were great. I love chips. Chips are my favorite food. Colin's vegetarian. I'm vegan, so it limits our foods a little bit. But yeah, I love a chip.
Black coffee.
Nice.
Yeah, same. Coffee. I drink way too much coffee when I'm on a set. Yeah.
Every director says coffee because it's the motor that keeps you running. It's the oil in your motor the entire time you're shooting.
Yeah.
It's also, it's like if you need to like stress eat something, if you stress eat coffee, you just get more excited. If you stress eat like chips, you won't be able to walk home. So
what's your funniest fan interaction? If you can say.
Well, someone once gave me placenta cream, like for your face, but it was made out of placenta. I'm not sure whose placenta. I don't even really know why I've said this, but that was up there with like weird.
Yeah, very strange.
Well, for me and Alec, do you remember what Max started to go on about in our last interview?
No, can you jog my memory?
We were talking about your movie, and then we talked about food, and then his first colonoscopy out of nowhere.
Yeah, I haven't had one yet.
Max shows him that, and that's a story, and then he just completely forgot about it, and everyone who watched that interview brings it up. Why did you talk about a colonoscopy? And I'm like, it's not me. It was Max. It was Max. No.
Well, my I have to bring up my mom. My mom's Brazilian, and she's very Brazilian, and she's a nurse. She lives in San Diego, and she never misses an opportunity to just like take me to her hospital so I can meet all her nurse friends. So it never ceases being awkward because she just like one day, like I went to visit her for Christmas in San Diego, and she took me to the Hallmark store.
Look, guys,
Look, this is my son. And I'm like, hey, and then everyone gets excited and wants to take photos. So yeah, nothing can get as awkward as my mom. But
that's so cute.
We do this for the moms, right? So
we do it for the moms. Amen.
Against his will.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
You must love me.
This one is one of my favorite questions because everyone has a different answer. Has a fan ever called you by your character's name instead of your own? Just randomly on the street. Any character ever.
I'm going to answer this first just because they're thinking, and I think I'm not expected to answer it. But yes, I one time was approached by someone on the internet. I did a series of Shark Attack stalker movies for Lifetime.
Right.
Someone who was convinced that I was the lead of those movies, which is actually played by two different people, so it doesn't even actually really make sense. And keeps messaging me every now and then, calling me Bruce. So
love that.
Bruce with shark movies.
Yeah,
I love the irony. I love it.
Definitely a Jaws reference.
I mean, like Rhiannon Fish is such a good name. Do you know what I mean? That like.
Thank you.
Like I know that the Hallmark fans call her, the fish, which is also so incredible. And she embraces it. She signs her text with like fish emojis.
Oh yeah, the fish, yeah.
It's so great. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't it'd have to be something with a better ring than that, like Rhiannon Fish, So I don't know.
So no, not really. I was gonna say, but I've done enough. So I'm not gonna tell the story, but it has happened and in like a less than ideal environment.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Let's get some people in trouble.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Let's make you guys blush a little bit. Who was your first celebrity crush?
Mine was Ginger Spice. And I've only come to learn that as I grew up and like figured out the world, that Ginger Spice was so hot to me as a child that not only was she my favorite, I just had a crush on her for sure. That was my first crush.
I don't think I remember. It feels like a cop-out answer, but is actually the truth.
Really?
Maybe Pippi Longstocking. I don't know.
Why are you acting like you're so
Penny from Inspector Gadget. There you go. Animated. But
okay.
I love Inspector Gadget.
So, I mean, I grew up in Brazil, so the name won't ring a bell, but there's this Latin American countries are a little different, than North American. And there was this show called one of the most famous people in the 90s is this person called Xuxa. And think of her as like the Britney Spears of Brazil, but she had a kids show. So she would dress up really sexy for the dads, like just in like bikinis. Yeah, like I kid you not, but it was a kids show, and I actually got to like be on her show, as like a 6-year-old. It's it's hard to explain this. But Xuxa, because she also sang her own music, and she was so famous that there are 2 birthday songs you'd sing in Brazil. One is the birthday song, and one was her song. So so it was.
Do you have this footage?
Me and at her show.
Yeah, it's really important.
Yeah,
Your mom.
She was a rock star. There was like Madonna, and there was Xuxa. Like she would.
I want to see you at 6 with her in her bikini. It's really.
I will do.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it's out there. Honestly, with YouTube, I should look for it. I need to find out what episode it was. Yeah, it was pretty remarkable. So, Xuxa.
Who's some of the Hallmark stars you'd like to do a movie with that you haven't yet?
I don't know.
I feel like I know.
Can we call out and just say we'd like to continue to keep working with each other? Can we say that and put it out into
It didn't say that you haven't yet in the text.
Yeah, so
Yeah, exactly.
In Japan.
In Japan.
In Japan.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you asked this question last time too, and I haven't worked with her yet. So Cindy, because I got to know Cindy through the Unwrapping series, and she's really, really funny.
I heard such great things about her. She's supposed to be both from actors and crew. That she's the best. Is what I continue to hear.
In terms of people that I've worked with as a producer but not a director, Christopher Palaha would be awesome, and Lindsay Fonseca also is really funny and super nice.
Lovely, love.
And then 2 final things from me, and then Kirsten will ask the last question.
Okay.
Can you tease anything for your new Christmas films this year? Without getting in trouble, I know some are shooting. Do you know if you're shooting anything yet, or have you already shot something?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm shooting anything yet. So that's the honest answer.
I just came.
But I don't know if I don't know if you're sorry, Colin. I don't know if we're supposed to say. I am doing a Christmas movie, but I am already missing. I started reading it, and I just don't know why I say all this stuff, but I'm going to be honest. It made me miss. I was like, can we just be on a destination? I'm bored. It's so much harder when you're not shooting in these incredible places. We just make it so, in ways, a lot easier, and in ways, it's also harder. Yeah.
No, I similarly. I've worked as a producer on 2 so far this year. One of which I don't think I can say anything about yet, and the other of which has been announced, which is the Bills Holiday Touchdown movie, which is filming now.
That's the biggest one. You worked on that one, fantastic.
That's shooting. It's shooting now. I left to come back to work on other things, but it was super fun, and just like in terms of like a tease, like I'll just say that the cast is like huge and awesome, and the energy of like thousands of extras is just like is very like those Bills fans, man.
Legit Bills fans, yeah, that's amazing.
Like we were like, it's raining. These people are gonna get tired. Like there's not even a real game going on, and
they're used to it.
Yeah. They were like till the very end. They were like, if their energy can bring that movie through, it's going to be great.
Bills Mafia, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're massive football fans, so our fan bases are very similar. She's an Eagles fan. I'm a Steelers fan.
Eagles fan. Well, congratulations.
Yeah. And then I'm a Steelers fan.
Nice. You have a interesting year ahead of you as a Steelers fan.
Yeah. Pray for us. we lost my boys. I might have thrown a couple of fits, but it's fine. Screaming at the TV. Why'd you throw away your pick? Why didn't you pick this person? And I'm texting her the whole time. Like, really? So the last one for me. What are some of your favorite Christmas movies?
Okay, I'll go first because no one's talking. I mean, Elf is always, I can watch Elf a million times. It can be on in the background. The music is amazing. I could sing along, like everything is so funny. Every time it's funny. But that's kind of a given. And then It's a Wonderful Life. Jimmy Stewart movie, like the message, like this, it's got this socialist message that no one really pays attention to. But I don't know. That movie gets me, Yeah,
I love that. They were playing. Do you know the Rio Theater in Vancouver?
Mhm.
They play that sometimes at Christmas time, and I had never seen it growing up. So I saw it as an adult and just thought, yeah, absolutely incredible,
Right.
incredible film.
Yeah, it's like dark. You're like, wow, this movie's really dark.
It's heavy, yeah.
Heavy, yeah.
I like the Grinch, like the OG cartoon. I really love that. That one's my favorite.
I'm gonna go with Christmas Story is one that I've always loved, and I kind of did a movie that pays some tribute to it, and Bad Santa.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that before. That's great.
That's great.
Very Hallmark friendly.
It is not.
I mean,
Christmas in Connecticut. There, I like that one too. That's more Hallmark.
And then finally, for the questions on stream, Kirsten, wrap us up.
So we want to do something new since we are Heart Full of Hallmark. So what are 3 things that keep your heart full?
Should we all just say our cats?
Cats. Yeah. That was going to be my first answer.
All the cats fill my heart every day. Cats.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, my cat, Laurent. What are your cats' names? You got to get your cats' names. You have to let us know what they're called.
Rogue and Bard.
Bard is my favorite. Bard has eyebrows. He's an icon.
He actually came in. He didn't go on
Bard's here?
camera. No, he's gone again. He's
fair.
very shy. He's a hider.
And mine are Cash and Manson. They fill my heart every day.
That is the downside of destination movies.
Oh, wouldn't it be so much better if we could just bring our cat? Alec and I found some cats, like in the street.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I pet a lot of cats. People are like, you shouldn't pet stray cats. I'm just like, I don't care.
I don't
I'm
care.
doing it
I
anyway.
need this. This is for me. Yeah.
They love it. They don't know they. No, scratch that. Reverse it. You don't know that they don't love it. Come on now.
Exactly. Yeah. Agreed.
They're getting love.
Yeah.
And where can we find you all on social media? Let's start with Alec first.
Yeah, if you search my name, it'll come up. Yeah, at Alec Santos.
Me too. Search
Instagram.
for me, I'll come up there.
Yeah. Or Alec Davin Santos, but if you just search Alec Santos, it's right there. I'm mostly on Instagram. I go on Facebook every once in a while, but just Marketplace, you know.
Me too.
Yeah, that's very real. Yeah, Instagram and Threads.
And
What's
Kirsten,
your handle?
What's mine? You can find me mostly on Instagram. Mine is Kirst_Hendershot on Instagram, and then also on our podcast page on Instagram too, Heartful of Hallmark.
Great.
And for me, you can find me on my YouTube channel every single week, live streaming old podcast clips, some interviews coming up I can't spoil, and also on my Instagram at Noah Kaser and at Heartful of Hallmark. A lot of these will be clipped. Watch this time and time again. I know I will. But until next time, everybody, keep your heart full of Hallmark.